Hey you! Yeah, you. Have you ever wanted to own your very own Pikachu? Well, the year's 2000, and you just said no. What the hell's wrong with you? Oh, 2000. The dawn of a new millennium and the peak of Pokemania in North America. If you can think of it, there was probably a Pokemon version of it. What a time to be alive. You couldn't go anywhere in the early 2000s without seeing that logo and its adorable little mascot Pikachu in some form. Trying to celebrate Thanksgiving without little Timmy's Satan animal torture simulator getting involved? Tough shit, Grandma. This lad's coming to take New York and there's nothing you can do about it. Now, before I go any farther, some people tend to give me a bit of a rough time for how I've pronounced Pikachu in the past. And I know it can be very frustrating. So if you have any issues with my pronunciation or enunciation of the name Pikachu, let me know in the comments. I'm probably not going to do anything about it. But hey, the comment would be nice. Back on track though. Amidst Pokemania and the popularity of Pikachu in the world as a whole, as well as the growing popularity of animal simulators starting to grow in Japan as well as North America later on, Umbrella would answer the prayers of all the Pikachu fans who wanted one of their own, and they brought Hey You Pikachu into the world. Unlike other simulators at the time, however, Hey You Pikachu brought something really cool to the party. You could, for the very first time ever, interact and speak to a Pokemon through the use of the included VRU and microphone. The microphone would then plug into the VRU, which was a microphone adapter for the N64 that would get plugged into the fourth controller slot of the system, with the microphone then hanging off the back of a controller with a plastic clip that goes on. Now, while I own the game and the VRU, I don't personally have the microphone anymore. But in my defense, I'm almost certain that the only thing thinner than the Hey You Pikachu microphone cord is my increasingly dwindling patience. So there's that. Another unique thing about the VRU, if you're looking to get one to play the game these days, is that you're gonna have to make sure you're getting the one for your region and language. For whatever reason, these things are region sensitive, so if you get a Japanese one for the English version of the game, for example, Pikachu won't be able to make heads or tails of what you're saying. And to be honest, the lad needs all the help he can get with understanding the words he's hearing to begin with. You see, to do almost anything in this game, it's directed through interactions with Pikachu. By saying, "Hey Pikachu," followed by a basic command, Pikachu will respond like an adorable chunky little Alexa. That is, if he understands what you're saying. Pikachu only knows about 200 fairly basic phrases, which will get you through the game once you get used to it, more or less. I'll get to that. And saying something even slightly outside of those phrases will cause him to not really understand, or at best try to piece things together as well as he can. This actually led to a pretty famous rumor that saying PlayStation or Sony would piss Pikachu off. This also causes some issues with accents. See, I got to that now. Pikachu has a lot of issues understanding accents or any form of slang, which can make this game a bit of a slog to get anywhere in. Hell, Pikachu's almost as bad as I am with accents. Kaz keeps inviting this one Irish guy on the channel, and the only thing I could make out from his newest videos was the screams of the damned and something about Garfield. Well, enough about that.
Well, fuck you too, you little prick. I hope your mother becomes a Tamagotchi.
I think for its time, Hey You Pikachu is a very unique game, with a lot of things to be done in it, and a Hey You Pikachu spoiler alert, pretty sad ending that luckily brings it back around to being a happy ending, because when I first saw it not too long ago, I almost got as sad as when I was 5 years old and heard Pikachu's goodbye for the first time, and that only caused lifelong trauma. The thing is though, other than the novelty and some laughs these days, I don't think this game's really worth playing anymore. It's super cute, sure, but the age of the title is showing a lot in a lot of the worst kinds of ways. It can be a little bit of fun, and I have happy memories playing this game as a kid, but I really think it's far more interesting to talk about the impact this little spin-off ended up having on the series as a whole afterwards, than to go back to it or recommend it to anyone else. Unless you happen to be a massive Pikachu nerd like I am, or you've played it before and want to re-experience it now. Hey You Pikachu would end up getting a spin-off of its own in 2003 in the form of Pokemon Channel, which was a game where you, Pikachu you help raise, and a bunch of other Pokemon get together to create a highly rated TV channel together. But most people tend to remember this game for either A, being that really weird Pokemon game on the GameCube, or B, the free Jirachi you could obtain from the game in the European and Australian releases. After this, there were a couple other games that came out that people would consider spiritual successors to Hey You Pikachu, but I honestly think that the best modern versions of what Hey You Pikachu was trying to do and go for is in the games from Pokemon X and Y onwards in the main series in the form of Pokemon Amie, Pokemon Refresh, and Pokemon Camp, where, while much more simplified than talking with your Pokemon, they do allow you to interact with, play games with, feed, and care for any Pokemon you want, including our favorite little friend. And I think stuff like this existing kind of leaves Hey You Pikachu left a little irrelevant. And combined with the issues people had playing the game at release, let alone now, it definitely begins to explain why, while people were clamoring for years for a new Pokemon Snap, for example, or Pokemon Stadium, or Battle Revolution even, we never really had the same sort of crowd pining for more talking to Pikachu action. Even when you think about it, a game like this would really be easier to implement than ever before in this day and age. We're sort of in a position now, almost 20 years later to the day, that a game like this just doesn't really have a place anymore, for better or for worse. And it's probably for the best that it stays back with the N64 for now. And that, my friends, is why I'm pitching Hey You Pikachu for number 1 on Thunderclip's top 10 N64 games. Oh, son of a bitch.